Welcome to Addiction Group's podcast, where we address pressing questions about addiction. Our goal is to provide insight and guidance for those seeking answers. I'm your host, Anna. Welcome back to Addiction Group's podcast. Today, we're diving into a serious topic, heroin addiction. I'm here with Ben, a specialist in addiction treatment. Thanks for joining us, Ben. To kick things off, can you tell us a bit about the addictive nature of heroin?
Absolutely, Anna. Heroin is indeed a dangerous opioid, and it's incredibly addictive. When used, it alters the brain's chemistry, trickling out dopamine and giving a person that euphoric rush. But over time, as this cycle continues, the brain's ability to function normally without heroin starts to deteriorate. This means users need more of the drug to feel that initial high, trapping them in a cycle of dependency.
That sounds like a rough cycle to break free from. What tends to lead people down the path to heroin addiction?
In many cases, addiction begins with prescription pain medications. These are legal opioids, and when people can no longer access them, they might turn to heroin as an alternative. This switch can happen quickly and often catches individuals and their loved ones off guard.
If someone is concerned about a friend or a family member, what symptoms should they be on the lookout for with heroin use?
Some telltale signs include drowsiness, agitation, slurred speech, and changes in pupil size. You might also notice mood swings, memory issues, signs of needle use, constant runny nose or nose sores, irregularities in hygiene, behavioral changes, and unexplained financial problems. The hallmark of addiction, though, is continuing to use despite wanting to stop.
Those are some significant red flags. Now, if someone concludes that a loved one needs help, where should they start? Is intervention the first step?
Yes, an intervention can be very effective. It's a structured conversation where loved ones express their concerns and urge the individual to seek treatment. Ideally, a professional should be involved to guide the intervention and suggest treatment options.
Once someone agrees to get help, what does the treatment process look like? Does it start with inpatient treatment?
That's right. Given how intense heroin detox can be, medical supervision is typically a must. Inpatient treatment provides a safe, drug-free environment, critical for managing detox symptoms and cravings effectively. This stage can be tough, and medication can often help ease the process.
Speaking of medication, could you elaborate on the different options available for detoxification?
Certainly. There are a few medications widely used. Clonidine is one. Originally for high blood pressure, it's also good for reducing early heroin withdrawal symptoms. Methadone is a safer opioid option used in treatment to minimize heroin cravings and withdrawal, and it's gradually tapered down. Buprenorphine tricks the brain into thinking it's still getting heroin, thus curbing cravings and withdrawal. Then there's naltrexone, which doesn't mimic opioids' effects at all, but rather blocks their effects.
It sounds like these medications can be quite helpful, but is there any controversy around using them?
Yes, there's debate over medication-assisted treatment, or MAT. Some argue it's merely substituting one addiction for another. Plus, combining opioids with MAT can be deadly. But many experts stand by MAT, especially since it can facilitate other forms of therapy and significantly boost the chances of achieving lasting sobriety.
Got it. And beyond medication, how do behavioral therapies come into play?
Behavioral therapies are crucial, Anna. They involve individual or group sessions where users learn to identify triggers and develop healthier coping mechanisms. The goal is to replace drug use habits with positive behaviors and to handle emotional stress without relying on substances.
That leads me to ask about the role of counseling and family therapy in recovery.
Counseling gets to the root of why someone might be using heroin in the first place. It's all about understanding the addiction and oneself better. And family therapy can be invaluable, helping the whole family understand the addiction and how to best support the person on their journey to recovery.
That's enlightening, Ben. And what about when formal treatment ends? How important are aftercare programs?
Aftercare is vital for preventing relapse. It generally includes support group attendance, a sponsor relationship, lifestyle changes, and ongoing therapy. It's about reinforcing the new skills learned during treatment and making sure the support network is strong.
Well, Ben, thank you for shedding light on the complexities of heroin addiction and the path to recovery. It's been a highly informative session.
It was my pleasure, Anna. Remember, recovery is a journey, and every step towards it counts.
Absolutely. To our listeners, we hope today's episode gives you insight and hope for those facing addiction. Stay tuned to Addiction Group's podcast for more discussions on addiction and recovery. Until next time, take care. Thank you for tuning into Addiction Group's podcast. We hope our discussions bring clarity to your queries about addiction. Remember, we're here to support and guide you. Until next time, stay informed and stay strong.